Talk about the Battery Innovation Center for those like you and others in the sector, very familiar with it, but for the broader public in Indiana, talk about the BIC, why it is so important, and some of the cool stuff really that that's going on down there.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, of the stuff we can share, some very exciting things from a material standpoint. Working with companies helping get their technology over the gap. That's that really where we focused is rather than having technology that just kind of stays in an incubator or stays in that R&D loop, actually putting it out into production, getting it into products, making connections. Those battery companies with end users, folks like Cummins and Facebook and Amazon, Rolls-Royce, among others, being able to get that next generation of technology into their hands.
And very key, the key word I think is commercialization.
Sure.
And that's a big focus because there's a lot of research, a lot of R&D going on that maybe doesn't necessarily go anywhere,
Sure.
but from a commercialization standpoint, that's a key focus.
Yeah, that's a great point, Gary. There's a lot of folks that talk about those game-changing, revolutionary, breakthrough technologies, but they're really data sheets are in a lab. They've not gotten to market, and/or they don't have a way to get them to market. We're very focused on, yes, that commercialization. How do we actually make the business sense for that product, both in getting the technical capabilities solved, getting the processes and the procedures set up, but also connecting it to, again, end users, making sure that we have a product that it can go into that it's already applicable to.
What is the potential for the BIC to be involved as we talk about the fuel efficiency debate and that issue that has been ongoing for a long time, but the role that the BIC can play on really a global basis potentially?
Sure. I mean, at this point, we actually are global. Ironically, have about 100 firms that work with the Battery Innovation Center today. Only a small portion of those are based in Indiana. The balance of those are global. Our focus is for the next generation technology is there are some incremental changes. So the goal is to make what we have, the hybrid vehicles that are out there today. You're seeing increases in that already. You look at like the Nissan Leaf, you look at the Tesla, look at all the advances that have made. We're looking at some incremental, but there's also a couple of years down the road, and no longer that 10 or 15 years down the road, we're seeing pretty substantial changes. We've got some battery tech today that's starting to show promise to be on par with fossil fuel from a watt hours per kilogram standpoint. So some pretty unique breakthroughs that are coming along.
Can Indiana lead? I mean, really lead in this whole advanced energy?
Absolutely. Ironically, I would say Indiana has a history that some people are not familiar with. You look back in the 90s with the EV1, designed and done up in the northeast side of Indianapolis. You've got Cummins, you've got Rolls-Royce here, you got Allison Transmission with their hybrid drive systems that have now been out for quite some time. You've got Interdel, Altair Nano, Johnson Controls was here at one point. Indiana has a rich heritage in battery technologies. Delphi Automotive as well with the Advanced Battery Group. So yeah, we've had a really good history. It's good to see a resurgence of that capability here.
And a lot of talk about the Internet of Things.
Sure.
And the IOT Lab, I think, being christened in Fishers next week, opening officially next week. There's a connection, a real working relationship that you have with them too.
Absolutely, yeah. With John and the team at IOT Lab, you can recognize that a connected product, be it wireless or whatever, needs an energy source in most cases. That's typically going to be a battery. So working with customers there, we've started to enter some discussions with folks like Careband, who are just recently on. They've got IoT smartwatches that are out there. Those all need an energy source in order to power those. They need them longer, cheaper, faster, easier, better, more capability. That's where the battery plays a key role.
Final question, what in your view is going to really be key to the Battery Innovation Center and others in that space achieving full potential?
I think it's awareness. I would still say today that's the biggest thing is awareness that those types of capabilities that are there, that some of this battery tech, it's us helping share our clients' capabilities out into the network. A lot of these startups don't have big marketing departments. They've been focused purely on making sure their product works. We've been doing the same. How do we make connections for them into the industry? Is raising that awareness, making sure that folks are keenly connected.